Machiavelli's most famous line is that it's safer to be feared than loved. But people misread that. He didn't mean walk around scaring people. He meant something deeper. Love can be withdrawn the second you stop being useful, but respect, real respect, sticks because people know there's a cost to crossing you. Here's how this hits in your 20s. You have that one friend group where you're the chill one. You're always available. You always say yes. You drive everyone home. You cover the bill when someone forgot their card. And somehow you're also the one who gets left off the group plans the most. That's not a coincidence. There's a concept in psychology called the Ben Franklin effect, and it's the reverse of what you'd expect. When someone does you a favor, they like you more, not less, because their brain has to justify why they bothered to help you. So they decide, I helped them, so they must matter to me. Flip it. When you do all the favors, you become the help. You become the resource, not the person. The fix isn't to suddenly become cold, it's to stop being convenient. Say no to one thing this week that you'd normally auto-say yes to. Watch what happens. The people who only liked you for the convenience will get weird about it. Good. You just found out who they actually were. The ones who shrug and stay, those are your people. Here's where Machiavelli gets uncomfortable. He said, men should either be treated generously or destroyed because they take revenge for slight injuries, for heavy ones they cannot. Modern translation. If someone hurts you, the worst thing you can do is half react. Think about every time someone in your life did something genuinely disrespectful, ghosted you after 3 months, talked about you behind your back, took credit for your work, and you decided to be the bigger person. You didn't address it, you just absorbed it. And somehow 3 months later, the same thing happened again, maybe with the same person, maybe with someone new who watched how you handled it the first time. This is called the doormat effect, and it's documented in behavioral research on workplace dynamics. When you don't push back on small violations, you're not being mature. You're training people. You're showing them the price of disrespecting you is zero. So they keep charging that price because it's free. Social media made this 100 times worse. We watch influencers preach protect your peace and don't engage with negativity. And somewhere along the way, peace started meaning never speak up. But real peace isn't silence. Real peace is when nobody messes with you because they already know what happens if they do. Here's the Machiavellian reframe. You don't have to be cruel. You just have to be clear. The next time someone crosses a line that actually matters, you don't yell. You don't block them dramatically and post about it. You just calmly say the words, that's not going to work for me. And then you mean it. No follow-up text 3 days later. No, hey, are we good? Let them sit in it. People don't respect you for being kind. They respect you for being unbothered by their disapproval. That's the whole game. Machiavelli wrote that a prince doesn't actually have to have all the virtues. He just has to appear to have them. This is the part everyone uses to call him evil. But here's what almost nobody catches. He also warned that the prince who only manages appearances eventually loses himself. Because if you're always performing, you forget what's underneath. This is your entire generation's problem and nobody's saying it out loud. You've been performing since you were 12. Your Instagram is a portfolio. Your TikTok is a brand. Your LinkedIn is a personality. Even your authentic, close friend story is a curated version of authenticity. There's actually a term for what this does to your brain. Psychologists call it self-concept fragmentation. A 2023 study out of the University of Toronto found that young adults who managed 3 or more distinct online personas reported significantly higher rates of identity confusion and depression. Not because they were lying, because they couldn't remember which version was real anymore. And here's the dark twist that hits at 2am. The more curated your online image gets, the less your real life can ever match it. So you start avoiding people who knew you before. You stop posting about things you actually like because they don't fit the aesthetic. You make a decision about which city to move to based on how it'll look in a vlog. You're not living, you're scripting. Machiavelli's warning translates perfectly. Control the image, but never become it. The way out isn't to be authentic. That's another performance. The way out is to have at least one part of your life that nobody online knows about, a hobby you suck at, a book you're reading badly, a walk you take with no AirPods in. Something that exists only because you experience it, not because anyone validates it. That's where your actual self lives. Everything else is the prince. Necessary, useful, but not you. Here's the reframe that ties all of this together. People in your life, your situationship, your toxic boss, the friend group that drains you, the parent who guilt trips you, they don't have power over you because they're stronger. They have power over you because they've correctly calculated that you won't leave. Machiavelli understood this. He wrote that a wise prince keeps his options open and never makes himself dependent on a single ally, a single source of income, or a single source of validation. Because the moment you need something from someone, they own a piece of you. Now look at your own life. How much of your anxiety is just dependency in disguise? You can't push back at work because you need the paycheck. You can't be honest with your partner because you're scared of being alone. You can't tell your parents what you actually want to do with your life because you need their approval. You can't leave the friend group because you don't know who you'd be without them. This isn't about becoming some cold loner. It's about quietly, slowly building yourself a back door out of every room you're in. Save the money, make the second friend, develop the skill, have the difficult conversation in your head 3 times before you have it in real life. Not because you're going to use the back door, but because once you have it, you stop being afraid. And the second you stop being afraid, the dynamic changes. The boss notices, the partner notices, the friends notice. They all start treating you better, and you didn't have to ask once. There's research on this in negotiation psychology. It's called BATNA, your best alternative to a negotiated agreement. The person with the best alternative wins every single negotiation, every single time. Not because they're smarter, because they don't need it. Your 20s are the cheapest, easiest decade of your life to build alternatives. You don't have a mortgage, you don't have kids, you can quit, you can move. You can start over. The fact that you forget this is the only reason anyone has power over you. CTA 1213 Min, if this hits somewhere uncomfortable, that's the point. This channel is for people who are tired of being told that everything's fine if they just journal and drink more water. It's not fine, but it's fixable. If you want more videos that talk to you like an adult instead of selling you a vibe, hit subscribe. No fake positivity. No, you got this, queen. Just the stuff nobody around you is willing to say out loud. Outro 1315 Min. Look, you don't have to become Machiavelli. You don't have to become anyone. That's the whole trap. The people who actually become untouchable in their 20s aren't the ones who got harder. They're the ones who stopped being available for things that didn't serve them, stopped explaining themselves to people who weren't listening, and stopped performing for an audience that was never paying attention anyway. You're not behind. You're not lost, you're just waking up. And waking up is uncomfortable because you finally see how much of your life was running on autopilot, on people-pleasing, on comparison, on a version of you that was built to be liked instead of built to be real. One thing to hold on to from this. The next time you catch yourself about to say yes when you mean no, pause for 3 seconds. That pause is where your life starts, not in some big dramatic move. Just in that one quiet moment where you remember you have a choice. That's it. That's the whole secret. The rest is just practice. Everyone calls Machiavelli evil. But if you're in your 20s and tired of being walked on, ignored, or quietly used by people who say they care about you, The Prince might be the most honest book ever written for you. In this video, we break down 6 Machiavellian laws and translate them into the stuff you're actually dealing with. Situationships, group chats, manipulative bosses, the comparison trap of social media, and the silent identity crisis nobody talks about in your 20s. This isn't about becoming cold or manipulative. It's about becoming impossible to use. Backed by real psychology, the Ben Franklin effect, the doormat effect, self-concept fragmentation research, and BATNA negotiation theory. This is the conversation nobody had with you at 22. If you're navigating quarter-life crisis energy, feeling lost, stuck in comparison, or just tired of fake positivity self-help, subscribe for more honest content. 0000, the truth no one tells you. Why this matters now 00, 45 Law 1. Stop being convenient 03, 00 Law 2. The wound you forgive too fast 06, 00 Law 3. Your online image is killing you 09, 00 Law 4. Power is walking away 12, 00 if this hit you 13. 00 One thing to hold on to Machiavelli dark psychology, gents quarter-life crises self-improvement.